you don't accept that there is something that you can improve about yourself, you would not move forward in life. So in this video, I will be sharing with you how I acquired this accent and see for yourself if you can also apply these steps to your accent and make it sound better. So first and foremost, before I even start this video, I want to emphasize on the fact that American accent is not the only best accent that you should go after. There's many accents. British, which is my favorite because it's so classy. Australian, which is my favorite also. There's so many other ways to speak English, right? Like even Indian accent, Pakistani accent, any accent, as long as you can own it with confidence and the natives can understand, that's all that matters. You don't have to sound American to be considered good at English, be able to articulate your thoughts better. No, you can have any accent as long as you really focus on pronouncing the words clearly, because that's all that matters. With that being said, let's get right into this video. So you guys are gonna laugh at it, but actually what got me into learning the English language is actually Taylor Swift. I used to be the biggest Tay-Tay fan. Do you remember those days when Taylor Swift was all over the place on the internet with her song Love Story? Dun, 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 dun. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. And this is when I'm in Japan and I'm 13 and I'm going to Japanese school, so I have no exposure to English at all. So I used to love singing. When I was like 13, I would just get a notebook and I started writing all the lyrics so I can read it on my own and just, remember the song. I would do that, and then I remember I actually give my mom credit for this because she really encouraged me in everything in life in general. She would just encourage me whenever she would see her child giving her best. She would say, oh, you're doing such a great job. You're trying your best and all of this. So I really encourage my mom to give me that push and confidence to keep going in whatever I'm doing. I would write these songs and then I was just basically obsessed with her songs. The fact that when I was really young, I was 13 when I decided, okay, I want to change my language skill. I want to learn English and I want to learn it the proper way. I got myself into the school where they would teach me proper English. If it wasn't for that school, I wouldn't be speaking with such confidence, and everything that I have, I give that credit to my school. But before the school, I give it to myself because I actually got myself in there. And at the same time, I got lucky that all my classmates in that international sector were also from outside. It's called Kikoku Shijo, basically. It's a Japanese person that studied abroad. So everyone was from US, UK, Korea, Egypt. I had a friend and best friend actually from half Egypt, half Japanese. All had different sort of international exposure, which was amazing. I would credit that more than going to school that was teaching in English and proper English and whatnot. Immersed myself into the environment that had people from all over the world. And then I realized where I'm lacking. I took my time to really see where I'm lacking, and then I worked towards that. So I remember this vividly. One day, we used to have pronunciation classes once or twice a week. In those classes, we would stand up in front of everyone and then give a speech, and then our classmates, they would give us constructive criticism. I started changing my pronunciation according to how my friends were doing theirs. I started following how they were pronouncing certain words, and I would just try to do it. And then next time when I'm giving a speech, I'll try to improve little by little. And what really helped me is that my classmates, I saw their comments about my speech, just mentioning, oh, her pronunciation is amazing, or like she's doing so well or something. And that feedback was really helpful because it just gave me confidence that I can do this and I'm not sounding fake or anything. And I guess because I was so young, it just stuck with me. My English accent, I figured in my pronunciation class, this part I can definitely change. So I worked on that. Then I practiced and I immersed myself in that with exposure, like with YouTube videos, like makeup videos I used to love. Naturally, you would find English videos over any other language anyways. Anything that you find fun so you're not bored, right? So 24/7, just immerse yourself with the content in that language. And then after doing that, I had friends to really keep up, just meeting them and then texting them and calling them and just hanging out with them really. To top it up with a little cherry, I actually got married to my husband who's from the US. So this is when I actually stepped into US in 2017. And at that point, nobody could tell that I didn't spend some time in the US because they were like super surprised that I actually spoke that way, including my husband. He even says it never sounds like you're faking it. Because I was so young, I was able able to change my chemistry. Then I met my husband when I went to the US. It really brushed my English. I'm always learning. Even right now, it's not perfect, but I'm always learning. And I tell my husband, okay, if I'm making a mistake, tell me, because I love to improve always. That's my motto in life. Nobody's perfect, and always learning is the best way to approach life. Now that we have talked about my background story, I want to get into who can really change it and who's suitable for changing it completely. If you are under the age of 18, I completely support you in changing your accent. Whatever accent you want to make your own, just go ahead and do that. Your brain can really just change itself. The chemistry can really, I don't know how the brain works, but I know that the younger you are, the easier for you to change your identity. You can go ahead and choose whatever accent you want to emulate and then focus on these steps that I'm going to be sharing. But if you're under the age of 18, feel free to explore what accent you would like to make your own. If you're someone that's like 25 or 30, right, and you're still, oh, you know, how can I improve myself or my accent or the way I speak? I would say when you're older and when you already have a solid foundation for your personality and identity, then it doesn't matter if you sound more American or more British or whatever. What really matters is what kind of value do you bring to the table. Although I have seen people completely change their accents or the way they speak, learn a new language at the age of 20, 29 or something, but you can still sense that they're not being themselves. And that's not what we want. We want to have real conversations by being ourselves. And if you have slight accent or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be ashamed of that unless you're an actor and you really need to sound like your character, then that's fine. But most of us are not actors, right? So what I want you to work on instead, if you're anything older than 18, is making sure that your words are easily understandable to natives. Usually, native English speakers are the ones that understand less when it comes to thicker accent. If I heard someone speaking in Japanese accent or Urdu accent, I would be like, oh yeah, I understand 100%, or Indian accent even. It's important for you to work on that so that whatever you say is easily understandable by other people, especially native speakers. Accepting your fault and accepting that there's a gap that needs to be filled when it comes to your skill. If you don't accept that there is something that you can improve about yourself, you would not move forward in life. If you really clicked on this video, that means either you're interested in seeing how I got my accent or you actually want to improve your accent. So if you're in the latter, then I would recommend that you first really look at yourself. When you talk, record yourself and then see if there's any room for improvement. Even native speakers sometimes have room for improvement when it comes to grammar. So everyone can improve their language skills. Understand where you can improve and then work towards that. Make friends with people who are natives when it comes to English language. Have a friend that goes back and forth with you on text. Every form of the language you need to be able to just practicing every day. So with that, let's say you're friends with like an American girl or a boy or whatever it is, you need to be texting, calling, talking, meeting with them in different places, so you really get yourself used to that language in different scenarios. And for me, I had a lot of friends that were from the US, so it was easy for me to do that. So fun fact, I love to read. I've been reading since I was like very little. I can subconsciously sometimes like sense if the grammar doesn't make sense. I have actually caught my husband, who is super well-educated guy with a lot of degrees. I have actually corrected him a few times, not a lot of times, maybe like 3-4 times. And this is not me bragging. The skill is on another level because he's a native speaker. But at the same time, I can be good at some places and that's okay too. We're all learning, and I'm super open with him when it comes to learning. I tell him, correct me privately if I make a mistake or something. Usually it's not embarrassing to keep learning. And also never be ashamed of trying to learn new things, because people who actually make fun of people who are trying to learn are the ones that are miserable. Just go out there and speak, because if you don't speak, then the learning never starts. I have 2 kids and I see them making these mistakes and they're confident even after making the stupidest mistake, because for them, they're learning this way. It's like by making mistakes is how you learn in life. For me, when I spent 6 months in Turkey, I was already speaking a little bit of Turkish, even though I had never learned it before, right? So my brain is not afraid to make mistakes. So I used to talk to my maids in Turkish and I would have them like correct me and then, go back and forth. I feel like just throwing whatever you have and then having someone correct it, and then next time make less mistakes. And by doing that, you'll be improving, and improvement is the way to move forward in life. So that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and really got to learn how I acquired this accent and maybe how you can can improve yours as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.